Thanks for joining us today. We've got quite a few folks online today, more than last week, so we will be admitting people as quickly as we can. We're answering questions as we go. We run these very informally. Um, Feel free to ask questions, unmute yourself, ask questions as we go. And hopefully all of you are familiar with the Tri-State Mega Matchmaker. If you are not, it's a virtual 2-day event being held December 3rd and 4th. Again, all virtual. It's being presented by the Apex Accelerators of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and New York. So all of those Apex Accelerator programs have joined together to invite our clients, anyone in the business community who may be interested in participating, as well as inviting agencies, federal, state, local government agencies, representatives from large prime contractors who may be using this event to find subcontractors, and also business resource partners like the SBA or local SBDCs, things like that, have all been invited to participate along with you all as supplier vendors as you are. So you can, make connections, network, and also participate in general sessions that are scheduled over the 2 days. Last week, we got a good question. Someone had asked, are the 2 days, repetitive, or are each, schedule unique? So each day has its own set of general sessions. I would advise you to check out the website. We'll be looking at that as well together, where the agenda is posted. So when you register for the event, you are automatically able to join those general sessions. And of course, part of why you're doing this today, right, is to try to get those one-on-one meetings scheduled. So I looked at the registrations and I saw that there were a few people who had indicated that they have not yet registered for the event. Is there anybody online who that's the case for you? You can unmute and say yes, raise your hand, or however you want to. If you've not yet registered for the event, the way I was going to run through this was just for those folks who hadn't. Just going to run through a quick screenshots of the registration process. And then we'll go live. I'll log into my test account and show you how to navigate the portal. And again, feel free to ask questions as we go. You should have the ability to unmute yourselves and ask the question, or maybe use the chat box, raise your hand. And I'm going to invite my other Apex Accelerator colleagues online to kind of monitor that too. And please feel free, Apexers, to chime in if you've got tips, suggestions, advice, answers for anybody, or want to chime in with a question you see in the chat that we could share with everybody online. Please feel free.
Melissa,
Yes.
I'm in the process. Good morning, everyone. My team is already registered, and I am in the process of registering us for the Apex Accelerator this morning. So I'm almost complete. But yes, I'm that category.
Okay, super. So what I'm going to do, what we'll start out with then, I have some screenshots to share. So, and that's going to be the kind of like what the registration for the event itself looks like. And then once we do that, I'll go live on the portal in my account and kind of show you how you can enhance your profile, if you need to correct things in your profile, how you use the tools to request meetings, to send messages, to check out that directory, look at profiles, all of that, okay? And I know sometimes because it's virtual, it can be a little intimidating. So this is exactly why we have these prep sessions. We want everybody to be very comfortable using the virtual platform. We want you to get the best experience out of the event. We want you to, have a successful virtual conference with us and get some networking in there. So we're going to start with that. And one thing we always like to mention, look at this as whether you've attended in previous years or if this is the first time, look at this as a learning experience and exactly what it is, networking, right? An opportunity to grow your network, listening to, learn from, agencies that are attending, or business resource partners or those primes. You're not going to come away from the event with a contract, right? It's that networking, making those connections. And maybe if this is your first year, once we get in there and I show you how to look at the directory and request meetings, maybe you want to focus on one or two potential buyers to kind of focus on getting those meetings with. But again, attend every year, kind of get more experience in it, and carry over this information to other networking events that you may see and be interested in attending, whether those are in person or virtual. So I'm going to share my screen now, run through that registration process for the Mega Matchmaker event. Okay. And again, feel free to ask questions as we go through. I'll ask you just to mute yourself in the meantime, but feel free to raise your hand, use the chat box, or just unmute yourselves. Okay. So let me get this started. 1 second. Bear with me, thank you. Okay. There we go. You should be seeing my slides there. If I'm not, somebody, Luke or whomever, let me know if there's a problem there with any of the audio or video. But so again, welcome. And we're going to run through, and of course, hopefully you're all familiar with exactly what the Mega Matchmaker is. So it's that 2-day online event. We mix in those opportunities to have one-on-one meetings, plus some pre-scheduled set general sessions. A lot of those, and again, check out the website and the agenda, they're all listed. So have some great presentations and topics that are being offered. Unique sessions on the 3rd and the 4th of December. Okay, so again, here's where we're going to start from our event site, that tri-state-apex-mega-matchmaker.com site. And you have to scroll down the page a little to find that click here to register link. But again, as I'd mentioned a few times already, check out the agenda to see those general sessions. You can also see who's attending if you haven't already registered and looked in the directory when you're signed into the platform, you can use this, who's attending to see also who's signed up as far as business resources, prime contractors, state and local government reps, and federal agencies as well. And then of course, those like today's session are listed under that pre-MM training link. So we click here to register link. That redirects to the site for our event provider, the Stones River Event Management site. Now from here, you're going to register. I've had some folks who've contacted me. They were a little confused because they skipped the register. They had attended events in years past. So they just went and logged in and used their credentials from previous years to sign in. Well, they land on an old dashboard page for like the 2022. If that was the last time they attended, they land on the 2022 Mega Matchmaker dashboard. So you always have to register, even if you've attended last year or previous years. When you go to register, you need to get yourself set up for 2024. So you're always going to hit that register button when you go to sign up for the first time, or if you've attended past years. So you're going to register, and then you jump right into setting up that profile and your information. Input, of course, your email. So all these fields are going to be required unless they're indicated as being optional. And the system will let you know if you skip something, you'll get a error message. So here again, like I said, in this scenario, this is a new email, first time I'm registering for a Mega Matchmaker virtual event. But if you use an email that you used to sign up maybe for last year, you'll get a pop-up. The system will know that. You'll get a little pop-up that says, we recognize this email. We're going to send you a message with a link so you can access your existing profile and update it for 2024. But again, in this scenario, for me, this is a brand new registration, using a new email and setting up a new profile. And then when you select describe your company or organization, of course, for us today, right, everyone online is probably signed up as a supplier vendor. You also see that there's an attendee option. Now that's for folks who basically are just wanting to join in and listen in to those general sessions. You don't want to participate in matchmaking, and that's fine. But I'll tell you, if you've done registration and you accidentally hit attendee, but you want to do matchmaking, we've got to get that changed to supplier vendor. So you have to contact support, and I'll show you where that is to reach the help desk. And then you're going to continue through. You have to do that little math question and continue through. Next, you're going to start inputting your company information. All fields here are required except for those that are indicated as optional. So for example, I kind of called out here website. Not everybody has a website. You could, but you still have to put something in there, put NA or no website, something like that. You do have to input something into that field. Then continue through. Now your participant info, right? Same thing. Make sure you use the email and phone numbers that you put in there are how you're going to be contacted about notifications. When you get a meeting request or if somebody sends you a message, you get an email also, but it's also going to come up in your dashboard when we get here to that point. So now I chose supplier vendor as my business type, so I will have an opportunity to input my codes for my product or service, which in this case, our event uses NAICS codes. So there's a system here where you can do a search, or if you already know your code, type the code in. Your options drop down below and you can add those. So, and again, if you're not familiar with NAICS codes, if you're not already working with your Apex Accelerator, they can help you. The main tool we use that we use here at our Apex, the Census Bureau, has a very nice site for researching NAICS codes. I think somebody just signed in. Let me make sure everybody gets in here. So in my example, I kind of did a product service search for consulting, and the options dropped down below, and I added the code that I thought best fit my product service. Now, no one tells you what your NAICS codes are but you, based on your company's capabilities, right? If you're familiar with SAM registration, you would have had to have input those into the SAM registration as well. So here in my scenario, let me admit our new folks here into the event. You have to put your year established. You know, if any of those socioeconomic categories fit your company, choose those. Make sure you put a nice brief business description because that'll be viewed in your profile when somebody else looks at your profile. So you definitely don't want to skip that. Just a nice, brief introduction to your company. And again, you check the box. Are you interested in meeting with buyers and business resources? Yes or no? I'm assuming everyone here today, you're here today and taking part in the event to take advantage of that opportunity. So choose yes, but again, no wrong answer. If you choose no, that's fine as well. Going to continue through. Now here's where you get to upload files to your profile. We always suggest, make that profile as nice and complete as you can, because, if you request a meeting with somebody, you can pretty much guarantee they're going to look at your profile before they accept or decline that meeting. So when you send out a meeting request, which we will get to here in a moment on how you do that, the person you send it to can accept or decline a meeting. So, put your best foot forward. You have a good profile there in place for them to look at so they can get a good snapshot of your company, your product services, why, you're a good fit for them, why they might want to talk to you and do business with you in the future potentially. So in this, in my registration example, we get to the upload files portion. Because I chose being a supplier vendor, you have the opportunity to upload a brochure, a capability statement, a logo, and a photo of yourself. If you choose attendee only, you only get the option to do, I believe, a photo of yourself. And if at this point in the registration you weren't ready to do this, you can skip this. And then once you get signed into your account, in the event platform, you can edit your profile and upload documents, which I'll show you as well once we get in there. So for my example, I just uploaded a capability statement. You attach that, and then you get a message that lets you know, okay, it's been attached. You are, and you see the file formats that you're allowed and the file sizes. Again, there's an email there if you're having technical problems, info@mybusinessmatches.com can assist you. And I believe you're only allowed to upload one file for each of those categories. And then you get a review of your information. Then you scroll down that review page, and this is where you set up your password. And then you input your password. You can have the system generate one for you. Check the box, yes, or leave it out unchecked for future events. You do have to check the box for terms and conditions and submit that. And you should get a message saying you've successfully registered. When you hit that continue button, that brings you back out to that landing page for the Stones River event management, kind of where we started. But now this time you will log in, and that's where you will get access to your dashboard, your space within this virtual event. And that's where I'll switch screens here, and we'll start navigating live through my account, my sample dashboard that I just created here. I just want to see if anybody has any questions. And again, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask also. I don't see anything in the chat box. Okay. I'm going to now go live with you and reshare my screen. Thanks for bearing with me. Just one moment. Okay, so you should be seeing my screen here, and I'm just going to go to the Mega Matchmaker event. So now that I have made my account, right, you can still start here and still going to click here to register, but now we're going to log in because we completed our registration. So I'm going to log in. My computer a little slow this morning, and I had it set to remember me, so I'm going to log in. If you don't know, if you forgot your password, use these support links, or forgot password, you can also do the magic link. What that does is it'll email you a link to get into your account. So I'm just going to log in to that test account I created as a supplier vendor. So here we are. And you can see, because I didn't do all the things with my profile set up in my sample, it's telling me I'm missing some things, right? So I'm going to show you how you can edit, update, make changes to your profile, and then we'll start looking at how you can, look at the directory, set up meetings, that kind of thing. So as you see, there's a navigation menu here across the top. And a lot of those things are repeated here a little further down on your dashboard. One thing I like to note, make sure, when you're landing in there, that you're in the 2024 Apex Accelerator Matchmaker pages or screens. That's where I said if you attended maybe last year or previous years and you just logged in without going through the registration step, you're going to land on previous year's screens. And you'll have to go up here, and here's how you contact support. Up at the top, from any of the screens, you can contact support, and here's their contact information. And they are pretty quick to assist folks with any issues you may be having. Or like I said, if you accidentally registered as attendee and you want to change that to supplier vendor, contact support and they'll help you reset that. So again, we're going to finish completing our profile, right? Because we want to give a good impression, a good first impression to those who might be looking at us in this during this event. You can use the links here, update profile, view my profile, or you can come up to the top right corner and you see the options here that you can choose from. 1 second, I gotta move that out of my way. So let's go, you can view your profile. If you want to see what it looks like to other, registrants, attendees to the event. Again, because of the website, there's no way around it. It just put that as my web address because I put that I didn't have the website. But you're going to see your codes here, my brief description, all of that information. But I didn't put a logo yet, didn't put my photo. I didn't do a brochure. So I'm going to come up here and again, edit profile is also where you can update some things like maybe I want to change what I typed in for my business description. And you can kind of see the info that's here and where you can update any of those fields. If you do that, make sure you hit save here on the bottom. Upload files is where you have that chance now to change what you've uploaded or add something new that you left blank. So, and you're going to see there in my case, right, I have my capability statement I uploaded. I didn't do my company brochure. Now, hopefully most of you all online are familiar with the capability statement. That is sort of a key marketing tool when we're talking about government contracting, definitely in federal level government contracting. If you need assistance with that, if you've never heard of what a capability statement is before, um, put something in the chat, but I definitely tell you, make sure you connect with your local Apex Accelerator, because they can help you through, what you should include in that. And if we've got time, I'll show you kind of a sample template that we have, if anyone's interested in that. But here's where you're going to just sort of add those other documents if you have them, those other files. So in my case, I'm going to, let's see here. I want to choose my file to upload. So 1 second. Gotta find my files, 1 moment. And again, just sort of standard, right? You're gonna get to your files. There we go. And I'm gonna upload my brochure, right? So here's my test brochure. I'm uploading that. That's what it looks like. Okay, let me get to my place again. Back here. Whoop, pardon me. Choose my file. Something's not cooperating today. But again, this is where you'll go and upload files. It's my brochure. And you should get a notice here as it uploads that it'll populate there, it uploaded. And I think it'll also sometimes it lets you preview what you're doing. I'm going to choose my logo, put that in, and my profile picture. And you'll see the file size requirements, the file format requirements. And again, if you have issues with those, reach that contact support up at the top. So I've made all those changes. They automatically are saved there. Now, if I want to go look at view my profile, you can see now I've got more information there. I've got my brochure, my capability statement. I've got my logo, my profile pic in there, which is great. Make sure that information, is like we said, those buyers that you request meetings with will definitely be looking at that information when they determine if they're going to accept or decline your meeting request. So that's where you use that upload files option here to get any of those files, delete things, update things, view your profile to see what it looks like to the public, edit profile for any of those other details you might want to change. Of course, you see you can change your password. You can add multi-factor authentication to your account if you want to. And here's my opportunities here, and it's also, you'll see it at the across the top of the screen. This is where you're going to see, based on those industry codes you put in, the system kind of makes matches for you. Oh, I apologize. That's under my matches. Excuse me. My matches. My opportunities is where if you want to change any NAICS codes, add, delete, you can do that here under my opportunities. My matches is where you see the system will kind of match up. When a buyer registers, they are asked to input the codes for the product or services they're seeking to purchase, or maybe seeking a subcontractor that can offer that in the case of a prime contractor. So the system kind of syncs up based on your NAICS codes that you put in. And in my case, I use that consulting code. So you're going to see the matches that I got. And then I can look and see, and somebody last time had asked a good question. How do I know when I'm looking at a resource partner, buyer?
I'm sorry, but your screen is not showing up. All we see is the your folder, your test uploads folder. I'm so sorry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for letting me know that. I've been running through this whole thing. Let me stop share and reshare. Thank you. There we go. My apologies. There we go. So again, in this case, you know, I use the up here on the right, when you click on your name, that's how I, was doing the uploading files and things. And then my opportunities here, and at the top of the screen is your opportunity to edit your NAICS codes. And then I use the My Matches here on the top to get to see who kind of matched up with my industry codes. And then
where can we change the NAICS codes?
Yes, right under My Opportunities.
Okay.
Which is either here at the top or under your name and that drop down, My Opportunities. You can, do searches here, start typing something in. Remember in my example, I used consulting. Maybe I wanted to add a few more kind of codes there. And you can use the view more. Yeah, and then you just click add next to any of them, and they'll drop there to the side. And if you decide, nope, that's not a code I want to do, you just can delete it. And it'll make sure, confirm you want to delete it. Now, if I made any changes, you got to make sure you hit the save button here. And that's going to update your profile. Okay, good question. So, and again, those codes are how you kind of get matched up. So I'm going to go to My Matches again. And it's called My Meeting Maker. And here it's showing how I matched up with other participants for the event. Like I said, the buyers are asked to put in the codes for the product or services they're seeking. Business resources are also asked to put in codes. You know who you're looking at in your My Matches by that green heading. If it's a resource partner, I'm going to scroll down through here. I've got 3 pages of matches on my consulting code. Lots of resource partners, because really that's by essence what we do is consulting. So a lot of us put that in there. But there may be, see, look, okay, so in my case right here, here's a buyer or small business liaison officer. That's what the SBLO is. That had put my code in as something they're seeking. U.S. Patent Office. Okay, so I'm thinking, maybe this is a meeting I'd like to set up. Let me learn a little more. I'm going to view the profile for USPTO. And here they're giving me a lot of information, right? Here's all the NAICS codes that they're interested in, and my consulting code is going to be in there, right? That's how I got the match. They gave a link to their website. Some other good information, right? What do they require for a contractor? SAM registration, because this is a federal agency, right? And if you work with your Apex, you've got to be in SAM to do business with a federal agency. And hopefully most of you, if it's needed, you've gotten through that process. If not, reach out to your Apex Accelerator. They gave a description of the products or services. that they're looking for in addition to those codes. I'm going to check out that website, right? I'm going to look at the brochure that she attached. And she gave a lot of nice information on doing business with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So I'm going to review this information, check out these resources she gave me, do my homework on what, doing business with USPTO looks like before I'd want to set up a meeting. So hopefully there you're seeing that brochure. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard. And again, please let me know if these screens aren't cooperating. So if I'm interested in meeting with Gwendolyn Davis after I've looked at this information and I think this is a good fit for me, I could be an asset to them. I want to learn about doing business more with them. I want them to learn about me. Here's your options. Request a meeting. So Let's Connect is a way to send a message only. Request meeting is actually how you're going to ask for a time slot on December 3rd or 4th. Now the meetings are about 15 minutes. We advise everybody, be ready, be prompt. If you can't attend, there's a way you can cancel a meeting so that buyer's not hanging on the line waiting for you, right? And there's also, if they have an issue and they can't join, they can cancel the meeting. But if there's an issue and the meeting didn't happen, use that Let's Connect to kind of send a message and offer a maybe meeting or a phone call outside of the Mega Matchmaker event. So if I wanted to request a meeting in this example, I'm not going to actually complete that because I don't want to send her a message, but you're going to select the date, December 3rd or 4th, and you've got available time slots that she has, and you would check that and it would go through. Now, my example here, I'm going to use this test account I made for myself as a resource partner at the Apex. So if I wanted to request a meeting here, let's say I'm going to ask for December 4th at 9:17, I'm going to send that request. And off it went to my test Apex Accelerator. And it kind of just refreshed the page. So you should get notified when that meeting's accepted or declined. And when a meeting is accepted, you're going to go to schedule. And that should get dropped on to your schedule. So on this schedule, this is how you access the general sessions and the one-on-one meetings that you've scheduled and have been accepted. You'll see the list of the 2 days worth of general sessions. At that date and time, there will be links here that you can click on to join the sessions. And also your meetings will be dropped on, and this is a way you can access your meetings too. You can enter your meetings, there will be links there. You should also be receiving emails with all of this information with links embedded in those emails as well. But this is kind of how you navigate those 2 days when the event's live and you want to join those general sessions or your one-on-one meetings. You kind of come to your schedule area. Does anybody have any questions? Feel free again, unmute yourself, use the chat, raise your hand.
Can you uncheck the only confirmed meetings so we can see what it'll look like when it's pending?
Sure.
Oh, you didn't actually send it though, did you? Oh, no, you did.
I sent one to myself.
Oh, okay.
So now sort of when I sent that request to so I have a test account as a supplier buyer and a test account as a resource partner. So I just sent that request to my resource provider, business resource provider account. It's sort of then in that person's court. They have to accept or decline. So you will know, but you can come up to your notifications, view notifications, or you can use, so this also, that little bell icon should let you know if you get any messages or meeting accepted. You can also, somebody had asked a really good question last week. They asked, does the meeting requests go both ways? And they do. We would say, really, you should be taking the initiative to look through that directory and, request meetings. Don't overwhelm yourself with, 10 meetings a day, that would be way too much to handle. Like I said at the beginning, maybe focus on just a few potential customers, buyers, or those agency representatives that you'd like to talk to. So when you, and the vice versa, those potential buyers, they can get in to their dashboard and look at the directory, and maybe they are looking at the supplier vendors and see a couple that they're like, I would really like to talk to them. They could send you a meeting request as well. But really, it's kind of more the other way around, where as a supplier vendor, I would suggest, you should be the one initiating and asking for those meetings. Once it's accepted, like I said, you should get notice of it. Same with any messages back and forth when you use the Let's Connect feature. I'm going to go to my inbox here at the top and see. So here's this message, right, that I'd sent myself last weekend, myself as the business resource. And you can kind of keep track. If you want to chat or use that Let's Connect, you can use that feature on the right to send messages back and forth. Here's your Let's Connect communications, your request received, right, and request sent. So that's where you can see that information. Does that help? Does that answer your question there? So that was under inbox. And you can kind of see what communications have been happening that you've initiated or responded to using your inbox. Okay. Go back to your dashboard at any time. It's kind of your home page, sort of. Use that link at the top. We can just look at the directory itself. The full directory, there's over 500 people registered, right? When you hit directory, you're going to see everybody. You'd see on the tabs on the left how the groups are segmented out. All 531. Maybe, if you're looking for teaming partners or something, we always tell people, if you attend networking events, don't just look at, if there's exhibit booths or those one-on-one scheduled meetings, look at the other attendees as potential customers too. Maybe you see another supplier vendor, you've got a project and you need help with it, a partner, a subcontractor, you could use that Let's Connect to try to connect with them. I do believe following the event, and it usually takes several weeks, I don't know why, but anybody who's registered for 2024 Mega Matchmaker should get a directory sent to them as well of everybody that said they approved that their information be shared. Will receive a directory following the event, but this is kind of how you can see the different groups and who signed up. But again, your My Matches kind of gives you a little bit of a head start by, showing who else used those NAICS codes, especially the buyers who may be seeking that code that you use that matches yours. But here's how you can see, we've got 44 buyers and small business liaison officers, 32 resource partners. The attendees, again, are those folks who basically just are joining to do the general sessions, but you can see you can message anybody by using that Let's Connect and view their profile. So an example I used last week, say I'm interested in looking for landscaping, right? Or who's looking to buy landscaping. I start typing that in. I get 26 matches on that. 17 vendors, 8 buyers, 1 resource partner put it. So, hey, again, I would have this in my industry code. If that was my product or service, I would have already put that code in. But you can look at the list of suppliers and see, again, in the green lets you know who you're looking at here. And of course, I already hit the buyer tab, so that's only who I'm looking at. But if there was a company here I would be interested in, here's Niagara Frontier Transportation Authority, had that they were seeking landscaping. Let's look at that profile. They purchase anything you would need to run 2 airports, 13 buildings, and a fleet of 350 buses, and all their codes listed and the landscaping codes in there. Let's look at their website, look at that brochure, learn as much as I can. They ask that you have facility clearances to do business. Maybe I don't have that yet, but I'd still like to talk to them. So when you go into that meeting, have your kind of, we call it an elevator pitch ready, right? A quick way to introduce your company, your expertise, your capabilities, why you're an asset to this potential customer, right? They want to know that you know them and what their needs are. So I would look at that brochure, we look at their website, maybe ask your Apex for a little bit of help doing some market research on some of these folks. I would tell you, when you're looking at these websites, first thing that draws my attention, doing business with, right? And then I would start going through, just navigating through these websites and doing my homework, looking at all these different things here about procurement, their bids list, doing business with, right? That's why I'm attending this event. I would just start reviewing all their websites, and that's kind of the key I look for. If you don't see that kind of doing business with right on their homepage, maybe do a search, type in doing business with, or supplier diversity, or subcontracting. Those are kind of the keywords I look for on a agency site or a prime contractor site. So that's what we mean when we say, do a little prep before you set up that meeting, get to know that potential customer. So you kind of have an idea of how they do business, where you fit in, and then know what you don't know, questions you might want to ask during that session, that one-on-one meeting. So to anybody, any other questions about navigating this, using the portal, doing searches, or, we had questions about capability statements last week.
You had offered to share some insights or some guidance on those capability statements. Is there anything that you might want to share briefly with those of us that have not prepared one previously?
Sure, yeah. I'll tell you what, I'm going to just view the profile, because the CAPE statement that I uploaded is just that template, so I'm happy to share that with you. This is kind of a sample one we share with our clients. Hopefully you're able to see that okay. Is everyone seeing that?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so a capability statement, like I said, kind of standard marketing tool in federal contracting, but always, nice thing just to have for any government, state and local too, and also for reaching those government prime contractors if you're, hoping to become a subcontractor with a company like that. Think of it like a resume for your business. And like a resume, keep it to 1 page, 2 pages max. And there's certain things that they're looking for on a CAPE statement. Of course, your core competencies, an intro to your company. Here's what we do. Here's what we do well. Past performance, differentiators, your company data, right? If you're in SAM, if you're connecting with a federal agency, they're going to want to know that you've got a cage code, right? Or your SAM UEI. That instantly lets them know you're registered in SAM. And I'm happy to share following the session with everybody who's online here. I've got your emails if you pre-registered. I will share a little tip sheet we have about capability statements. It has some resources. There's a couple videos that the Apex in Monroe County Finger Lakes in New York, they did a couple nice presentations that they recorded. I'll happy to share those with you. So definitely work with your Apex Accelerator. We're happy to kind of help you proofread, give you suggestions, tips, ideas. I tell folks one thing to do, simply go on an online search, Google search, and type in capability statement and a keyword for your industry, like capability statement, landscaping. You're going to probably get a lot of results of capability statements that other companies put up there. Use those to kind of give you ideas for your own. You'll see good examples and bad examples, like any kind of search you do online, right? Good info and bad info, but maybe it'll give you an idea of things you never thought of that you could use, for your capability statement. Like a resume, you always kind of want to customize it to the specific person you're sending it to, like when we talk about doing your homework on a potential customer. But in this case, you only get a chance to upload one. So, like a resume, when you're building that, right, make a strong kind of general capability statement that might cover all the bases. Post that at the Mega Matchmaker profile. But then, as you're building your networks and making connections and, getting into the government market, and you have agencies you really want to look into, then start kind of tweaking that to address the needs of that specific agency or potential customer. So does that help?
Yeah, yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and again, I'll send that tip sheet out that we've created. By no means, those are our suggestions, but there's lots of, you could probably find a lot of resources online. But again, I'm happy to share that. Make sure it's in PDF for this platform. And if you're ever going to email and send it out to anybody, make it a PDF. And also, once you have a good solid CAPE statement that you're happy with, consider posting it on your website somewhere as well. And for those of you who are familiar with SAM registration and the dynamic small business search that's linked to SAM, there's a feature there that you can provide a link to your CAPE statement as well. Again, a discussion you can have with your Apex Accelerator. So kind of that's what I wanted to run through with everybody. Any questions? Everybody feeling comfortable enough, you're ready for the Matchmaker in a few weeks?
Yeah. Hey, Melissa. Carol here. Sorry, my camera technical difficulties.
That's okay. No problem.
Very newbie here. My question, maybe to you or anyone on the group who would care to share. I've never participated in this event, so I'm curious to know: is it more geared toward more seasoned businesses, or do you think there are also opportunities for like newer companies like myself who are starting out? Just curious.
Yeah, I would say definitely, jump in there. Don't be afraid. You got to start somewhere, right? So yeah, I would say, what we talked about right now, kind of get in your dashboard when you registered here for the event. Look at that directory, look at those matches that you got, and review those profiles and any information that a buyer may have provided, and dig in there, look at their websites, look for that doing business with information. Maybe you're going to get to somebody's site. For example, I saw Mascaro Construction. I've looked at their site with clients before. They have an area in there for vendor subcontractors. When you click on that, I'm pretty sure, I believe there's a database that you can register just for them. So maybe do that in advance. So when you have your meeting, if you had a meeting with Mascaro during the Mega Matchmaker, I would bet she's going to talk about that SBLO officer. And you can say, yeah, we looked at your website and we did put ourselves on your vendor list. That kind of thing just shows her that you did a little bit of homework on that company. Yes, but I would say that's a good question. Don't feel intimidated by it. Like I said, you got to start somewhere. Just, set up that meeting. Don't overwhelm yourself with too many meetings that you're kind of scattered. So you want to be focused. So, set up a couple meetings and grow your network, and don't be afraid to ask questions, but be prepared when you get into that meeting with that individual. Yeah.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. And if you're not, if you're not working with your Apex Accelerator, definitely, if you don't know who your Apex Accelerator is, there's a website. Let me pull that up. And there's a service locator tool. I'll put it in the chat box. But we're all over the country. So again, this event is PA, Ohio, New York. But because it's virtual, right, it's accessible to anybody in the US. So anybody may hear word of it from another Apex Accelerator from 4 states away, they are welcome to join us, and it's free. So that's also, we're very happy that we can keep this event free for everybody who wants to participate. So in the chat box there, I just put the Apex Accelerator locator if you're not familiar with who your Apex Accelerator is. So we all have assigned regions of the US. And we're assigned to work with the companies that are in our regions. But if you would reach out to me and you don't know, I can help you figure out who your Apex Accelerator is. And we don't just look for opportunities in our assigned regions. We look as appropriate for any of our clients. We will look nationwide or all over the world for government contracting opportunities with the US government, with federal government, state governments, local governments, and with prime contractors that do the government contracting, but might need subcontractors that do what you do, kind of help you do that market research. Good questions. Anybody else? So we're happy. I'm glad you joined us. Wish you lots of success with the event, attending the event, and in any endeavors, you know, your government contracting endeavors. So, somebody asked here, should we make 2 capability statements if we're transitioning our business? Good question. Like I said, I think you can only upload 1 document, 1 file. So you're really gonna have to determine what you want to focus on. You know, what product service that you are going to be offering as a government contractor or subcontractor. And again, you can, if you have that meeting, or if you're not able to set a meeting with somebody, use the Let's Connect feature, and maybe outside of the Mega Matchmaker, you can set up an appointment with a call or virtual meeting or an email and offer to send your capability statement. Just kind of glancing through the chat. Somebody asked about accessing their dashboard after the event has ended. I believe you can still get in there. And like I said, it's usually a few weeks, several weeks after the event, the Stones River Event Management shares a full directory with everybody that registered. That directory only includes those who okayed it, gave approval to have their contact info shared. And I will be happy to share the CAP statement tip sheet following, and there's a user guide. Based on these prep sessions we've done over the last few years, I kind of made a user guide, and I'll send that out to all of you as well. It kind of will go through the things the features and navigating the system like we just talked about today. Again, I apologize that screen share didn't work there for a moment. All right, so I'm not seeing any other questions. We'll give you 5 minutes back of your day. And thanks for joining us. Wish you a lot of success December 3rd and 4th and beyond. Thank you, everybody.